Today, tribal communities all over Turtle Island are celebrating Indigenous Peoples Day. But it's important to remember that this day, Indigenous Peoples Day, has deep roots in the anti-imperialism and decolonization struggle. It's not just a holiday, it's a day of resistance and protest. Let me share just a little bit of history. In 1974, the first international treaty conference took place at the Standing Rock Sioux Reservation, gathering indigenous peoples from across the Americas. This meeting, organized by the American Indian Movement, better known as AIM, marked the creation of the International Treaty Council, a pivotal movement in the struggle for indigenous rights and self-determination. Tribes would come from all over to create a united platform to talk about treaty rights, land rights, and the decolonization movement. It was about interrogating the devastation of settler colonialism. This movement would lead to 4 decades of work within the United Nations, and in 1977, the first Indigenous Peoples Day. This would become an international Indigenous peoples decolonization struggle. And Indigenous peoples were not alone. The National Congress and the Palestine Liberation Organization stood in solidarity, recognizing the legacies of settler colonialism. This movement also paved the way for the 2007 UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. Together, these organizations fought against the 500-year attempted commemoration of Columbus's arrival in the Americas. The Vatican and Spain wanted to glorify the colonization of the Americas and celebrate this event in 1992. This effort on the part of Spain and the Vatican to celebrate settler colonialism, imperialism, and the genocide that took place after 1492 was unsuccessful because of Indigenous peoples and their allies. The origins of Indigenous Peoples Day has always been about decolonization. Today, Indigenous Peoples Day is recognized across many states here in the U.S., but we cannot let it be co-opted by the settler colonial politics of recognition. Recognition and the celebration of Indigenous resilience is simply not enough. This day, Indigenous Peoples Day, is born out of resistance to the replacement and extinction of indigenous communities across the world. It's about the love that we have for our values, our ceremonies, and our lifeways. It's also a stance against the ongoing violence against Native communities and the earth itself. And despite everything that's been taken away from Indigenous peoples, our laughter, our joy remain powerful acts of resistance. So let's not forget the anti-colonial origins of this day, and let's continue the fight against the destructive forces of settler colonialism. Indigenous Peoples Day is more than recognition. It's about survival, resistance, and the future of the 7 generations. All right, y'all. Happy Indigenous Peoples Day.